little clip you sent me, which was that could have been a key goal in the second minute for RB Leipzig. And that just bears the question to me, was that a steal? Or was it legitimate that Real Madrid took the 3 points? Maybe you can take me through and just describe how the game actually unfolded.
If this scene wasn't a steal, then I don't know what could ever be one. So it was clearly a goal that should have stood. Yes, I highly expect that. And listen, bold prediction live here on podcast.
Oh no.
Sesko is on fire and he will score his very first hat trick for RBL.
And I'm not going to be there. That's not on.
I will send you some clips.
And welcome to RBLE Global Tracks, which is Leipzig's fresh RB Leipzig podcast in English, brought to you by Richard and Mario. Amongst us, we are season ticket holders, passionate supporters, and not so very neutral local pundits. Both of us have been following Leipzig football since our childhood days, so if you want to hear about RB Leipzig, capture the mood of the fans in the city, and if you want to go beyond numbers and statistics, you are in the right place. We're delighted to welcome you on board. Let's go. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs. Good afternoon, Richard. How are you?
Hey, Mario. Thank you. I'm fine, though a little bit tired. It was a short night because I was home late last night, and then started directly with my preparation for this podcast to wrap things up from that match versus Real Madrid. But besides that, I'm good.
Excellent. You're such a trooper. Well done. Okay, so Richard, what are we going to talk about today?
So I teased it already. Of course, we want to look back at this now infamous encounter versus Real Madrid from yesterday evening or Tuesday night. And we, of course, will look forward to our next bread and butter business in the Bundesliga versus Mönchengladbach, Saturday night, 6:30.
Extremely important. Thank you, Richard. So I'm glad you went to the match yesterday. I was completely offline during the whole match. Didn't follow anything, didn't see anything. Just caught up by reading some of the things on the internet and social media as well. And the little clip you sent me, which was that could have been a key goal in the second minute for RB Leipzig. And that just bears the question to me, was that a steal? Or was it legitimate that Real Madrid took the 3 points? Maybe you can take me through and just describe how the game actually unfolded.
If this scene wasn't a steal, then I don't know what could ever be one. So it was clearly a goal that should have stood. Okay, so we came quite well. We had the kickoff, I think, and had the ball circulating through our players through the lines and had an first opportunity, which was deflected to the corner. And David Raum took the corner kick. It was cleared by the goalie at first. I think Schlager brought it back in, and then Sesko jumped high with no one around him for like 5, 6, 7 meters clear of any other opponent player. And then just headed into the back of the net, and it wasn't that really hard thing to do at that moment, and the whole crowd was cheering and celebrating that goal. So, but I thought, and I wasn't the only one that thought in that moment, hey, okay, that was clearly offside because, as I said it, there was no one near him, and the linesman also waved his flag, and I thought, okay, that must have been offside. And shortly after that, the VAR came into play, so we could read it on the stadium screen, and I thought, okay, well, what does the VAR here? It was offside. And shortly after that, I received simultaneously two messages, one from my best friend Christian, and the other message from my wife, and both messages was were literally
Wife
the
said,
same.
"Come home."
Two words, no offside. And I thought,
Okay.
okay, so the two people from the watching this game at home tell me there wasn't offside, so there must be something else. And then watched this tape again. I just recorded, and I thought, what the heck uh, could be seen here by the VAR that would have legitimated is that to disallow this goal.
I
And
think it's good to describe and to point out that your position was right behind the goal where Sesko almost scored, or he did put the ball into the net. And I looked at that little clip as well, and I let it run through, and I thought, okay, looks like clear offside. And judging by the spectators around you, everybody is like you just described it. Everybody accepted that straight away. But if you just stop it frame by frame, you can first of all see there's nobody offside, and then second of all, you could see the goalie wasn't blocked in that sense that he could ever get to the ball. He was so far away, and like you mentioned it, Sheshko was clear. There was nobody around him, so it seems to me that the goal should have stood, and it looks like it was stolen from us.
yeah, and even Tony Kroos, after the game, admitted that was a clear goal, and that even he could not have understand how this was disallowed.
Fair play, thank you. Yeah, you have to give it to him. I mean, it's probably almost always easier to admit that when when you win instead of losing. But I like to think that that was really fair play from on his side. Ah, what a shame. So what happened afterwards? Because I read in the first 20 minutes, RB Leipzig was the dominant team. Was that right?
Yeah, actually, it was. So we were the whole team was very focused in position. The play was very disciplined and was willing to go every meter necessary to go for the ball. And then I spotted something I have never seen in my whole life, and maybe Tony Kroos didn't this seen from himself too. He played two misdirected passes in one half.
What?
Yeah.
He's starting to lose it.
and and that was one of those little things where I thought, okay, tonight is tonight. So I posted it on X Twitter, magic night to come, and had this feeling, okay, come on, guys, this is your night, make yourself
Yeah.
legends. And Cesco had some nice chances after the disallowed goal. And to be honest, from Real Madrid in the first half, there was nothing really dangerous. That was shot on Gulashi, though
Mhm.
he had to come up one or two times, I think, but it wasn't nothing like where you might think, hey, good that we have him, good that he saved this or that shot. Um, it was really, really a poor offensive performance from Real in the first 45 minutes. But yeah, things unfolded in the second half, not in our fortune.
But before we get to the second half, I also read that in that when RB Leipzig was performing really strongly, they forced Real Madrid to commit errors. Is that your impression as well? Was RB Leipzig that strong that Real Madrid wasn't able to play their style?
Of course, yeah. In one reason was clearly that our players, as I said, it was very disciplined, and the other reason I'm pretty sure about is that Bellingham was not around. So
Ah, okay,
we
okay.
talked about he is the difference maker even in that squad, and he played every game from the beginning, that campaign. And if you lose this cornerstone and have to replace it, even for a club like Real Madrid, even for this squad, they need some time to get back on track to find themselves
Mm.
without him, and doing things that differently than they did for the first 21 games. Another thing I spotted, to me surprisingly, Nacho, number 6, the captain and the center back, was back in. So we talked about him, and I thought that he would have been out for this game too. But to me, it was surprising when I read, oh, he's back on. But I think it was, I spotted that he missed some games. There was truly some lag in match practice. So he had
Mm.
some, um, yeah. some actions that you don't or used to see from him. And he was the one that was the guy that interfered, Lunin, in that scene where this goal was disallowed. But unfortunately, he's such an experienced player in the second half. There was nothing much left of these first impressions I had from him.
Okay, but let's listen to a little clip that you sent to me, which summarizes the first half.
So we're just finished with the first half. Set the score. Chances on both sides, though. No 100% ones. Both teams on eye level. Everyone seems to have understand what's on the line tonight except the refs. Let's see what the second half has showed us.
You sounded pretty much. You still sounded very optimistic after the first half, I must say. And okay, everybody seemed to be aggravated regarding the referees' decisions, and especially in the second minute. So I understand at the beginning of the second half, we conceded a shockingly brilliant goal, didn't we?
Of course, it was a nice individual effort. From that man that was replaced, or that was the replacement for Jude Bellingham. It came from Diaz. He, of all people, was the difference maker in that match, and it was a really outstanding dribbling. No one blame here for not defending resolute enough, and Gulaschi was without a chance to make a save here too. Although afterwards, some German experts in the television told that, hey, someone has to go for that foul, for the tactical foul. I disagree with that. So because even with the shot he took, it was a very low percentage shot he take, only 5% X goal. But sometimes, there are some nights, some games, some matches where things just don't go in your favor, but for the other team. And yeah, obviously it was yesterday night, that night.
Okay, so how did RB Leipzig respond to that one goal that they conceded quite early?
Well, it wasn't much of a difference afterwards. So they kept playing in their style. They took a little bit more effort into their offensive actions, and we had some nice chances afterwards. So Haidara came in, and hey, good, he's back. He brought some fresh wind into the whole squad, and he had a nice chance. Olmo had a nice chance, but it wasn't accurate enough. It was a little lack in accuracy. So yeah, and Lunin had an outstanding night too. We was a little lucky in the second half, midway through the second half, when we opened things up a little bit, and Vinicius Junior came with one of this infamous dribblings right in onto our penalty box, and then put a nice little shot that hit the left goal post, and then Orban, who has an outstanding game yesterday night as well, and again came to clear this chance. But besides that goal that was scored by Diaz and the shot to the post from Vinicius I just mentioned, there wasn't really much offense. So kudos to our defense. Great performance yesterday night, and yeah, with a little more luck and a little more accuracy, and with a pro level ref, there would have been clearly more that we could have reached that night.
I think Marco Rose got a yellow card from the ref as well. Did he try to keep his composure, or was he freaking out quite early?
He tried at least, but sometimes when there's not only that one bad decision by the refs, but even more, there was a rude tackling midway through the first half, where Carvajal clearly fouled Xavi. 45,000 people in the stadium saw it, and the ref didn't even consider blowing his whistle for a foul here. And everyone was, hey, this is at least a dark yellow card for Carvajal, and it came up, ended with nothing. And there was some other scenes like that where you thought, hey, how much money did the UEFA pay to him, or is the UCL scripted? I don't know. And as time went by, Marco Rose, slightly lost his composure, and he received his yellow card in a scene where Openda was laying on the pitch, and Real Madrid refused to play the ball on the in the outside, but played on and created a little chance there, and that was where Marco Rose questioned the ref, "Hey, didn't you saw that?" And yeah, so he received his yellow card.
I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, of course, we might react differently as well. But it seems like somebody like Toni Kroos was reacting very objectively, and he did see that there were certain flaws with the referee team, and that's what I picked up from whatever was posted on the internet, that they weren't really up to the high level quality of job that they should have provided. And so also we can say here. And what I gather from you here is, if you think about, if you think back to the last match when they played Augsburg, and you said that the certain conviction and confidence is missing, it doesn't strike me as that confidence was missing yesterday. Although the team hasn't scored, they seem to have been very confident to go against one of the, if not the biggest and best team which is around in Europe and probably the world at the moment. And so is this a fair impression that I'm getting, observation that I'm getting here, that the team was confident, and actually as we move on and go to the Bundesliga, they can take something really positive with them?
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. You nailed it here. This maybe lack of confidence we spotted versus Augsburg, there was nothing like that yesterday night. And I do hope that this team is able to convert this for Saturday. And with Gladbach, no disrespect here, but hey, this is clearly not as a good team as Real Madrid is. And then we will, if we will come out like that, like we came out yesterday night, we will clearly benefit from that spirit.
But I also think what you're trying to describe as well, if things had gone slightly different in terms of that, the referee decision, RB Leipzig leading 1-0, some of the decisions they made, kind of bad decisions they made during the game, RB Leipzig might have not even only come away with 1 point, with a draw, but might actually have beaten Real Madrid. Is that right?
Maybe, it's hard to tell. If the first goal wasn't disallowed, then we would have seen a whole another game, a whole different game. That's for sure. And well, as the game went, as how it went, I think a one all draw would have been the correct outcome of the game.
Okay, well, it's actually what you predicted. Somebody spoiled that. The referee did that. Blame it on him.
Yeah. He listened and thought, okay, no, I will prevent that.
But looking ahead at our trip to Madrid, how much hope in hell can we have to possibly skate through and reach the quarterfinals?
Yeah, this is called funny old game for a reason, right? But to be honest, if you question me, do we still have a chance to promote into the quarterfinal? No. Barring a miracle, no.
And why?
Because we need a 2-goal win.
Yeah, so
in Madrid, and the last time a team that was able to do that, besides
here we go again,
Barcelona.
Funny stats.
Yeah, funny stat now. The last team that was able to do this, besides Barcelona, was Real Sociedad back in January 2019. So more than 5 years ago, was no one able to put 2 more goals into the back of the net than Real did. So you can see this gonna be a heck of an task there. And okay, sometimes freak things happen. Yeah. Imagine an early swoop by RBL, a red card for the goalie, a converted penalty or something like that. Okay, then there is some slightly 0.6% chance or something like that. But yeah, we have to face the truth here. This will be unfortunately the end, and so no title this year.
Oh, come on. I was hoping for a freaky statistics like you've done with Red Star Belgrade. In November, they lose games at home. Don't you have anything like that for Real Madrid? Come on,
No,
help
no,
me out here.
because there are none. This team is so fucking strong. Excuse my language. There are no such statistics. So yeah, this team is just winning. And as you heard, they're back in January 2019. So it was 5 years. The last time something miraculously happened.
Okay, but Xavi still believes in it. That's what he posted on Twitter today. So, well, we can always believe in it, but if you're realistic, it's got to be a hell of a task. And but I, the only positive, or the real positive I'm taking from this is that it was an exciting match. RB Leipzig played really well. Was actually the quality was actually matching Real's quality yesterday. Just the individual effort and the referees made the decision. It didn't go our way. Thank you very much, Richard, for keeping us in the loop and describing that. And now I get a pretty good impression of a match that I didn't see. So let's look ahead at the weekend. You're going to be there again. Same seat, same place, same nice view on our one of the goals at least. So who we're going to meet on Saturday?
Introducing our next opponent, der Gegnercheck.
Yeah, Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. Back to bread and butter business. Mönchengladbach is coming to town. Some stats first. So we are unbeaten in home games versus Gladbach. We had 4 wins, 3 draws, 17 to 8 goals, and are currently on a 3-game winning streak at home.
That sounds great.
And the funny thing is here, and funny statistics, I love funny stats. Gladbach is the only team that was able to outscore us with 2-0 twice in Red Bull Arena at halftime.
Oh, right.
And yeah, and those games that happened, we ended up with a 2-2 draw once, and the other game was a 3-2 win for RBL. And guess who was the coach for Gladbach that time?
Marco. I know.
Marco Rose, correct.
Marco Rose. That was a long time ago then.
Yeah.
That was before his
3 years.
Dortmund stint. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, 3 years is not that long, but it seems like such a long time. Okay.
Yeah, it was February 27th in 2021, so almost
Wow.
to the day 3 years. And Nkunku, Paulsen, and Sörloth scored.
Sörloth. I remember that 3-2 that Sörloth
in the
scored.
90 at the time.
And there was nobody in the stadium because of COVID restriction. But if we had been there, we would have celebrated the heck out of him. And I remember the way he scored that goal, and it was one of the first times I had that stupid Sky subscription, and I could watch it live. And it was like he was, well, wasn't he sort of almost sitting, or he had his hands on the defender, and people were wondering if that was a foul, but it wasn't enough.
So, but squads changed since then. And
oh yeah, slightly.
Yeah, slightly. Our squad and Gladbach squad too, but this will come in a few moments.
Paulsen is still there, so that's okay.
Yeah, Paulsen is still there. Gulaschi is still there. And on the Gladbach side, there are some players left too that appeared in this mentioned game. But first things first. So we will need now someone else to come up with goals here. And Gladbach isn't that strong that season. This is no wonder why. I will explain this a few moments later. They only had 5 wins up to now. Only 1 on the road, 2-1 win on the road in Bochum. Any other in home games? 2-1 versus Heidenheim, 4-0 versus Wolfsburg, 2-1 versus Hoffenheim, and 3-1 versus Stuttgart. And they had only 1 win in their last 8 games. So 1 win there, 3 draws, and 4 losses.
You know what? It sounds dangerous to me. It sounds like a perfect opponent to have at this weekend. But we have a way of building those teams up by giving them a lot of chances.
Sometimes those things happen, but I'm confident this time will this not be the case. And wait a few minutes, and I will explain it to you.
I'm waiting.
Okay, thank you. So their last 5 away games, they had loss, draw, loss, and a loss. So they lost versus Bayern. They drew versus Leverkusen 0-0. Then they lost at Frankfurt, in Berlin, at Union Berlin. Hey, nobody loses there at the moment, but Gladbach did. And
Mhm.
they lost to Dortmund. So ranked 30 at the moment, and an interesting gap between their offense and their defense. Listen, their offense is still number 7 offense in the league, with 36 goals scored, only the top 5, and Hoffenheim got more. But on the other hand side, there are number 17 defense with 41 goals conceded already. Only Darmstadt was worse at the moment. And the funny thing is here, both worst teams defensively played against each other last week. Gladbach
Okay.
versus Darmstadt, and it ended up 0-0 draw. Funny old game. Can you believe it?
It's one of those great games to market worldwide.
Oh yeah. Hey,
You've been waiting for it. You just don't know it.
we got 0-0 draws in association football. Who would like that? So yeah, and okay, we talked about that offense and the defensive stats here, and to me, it is a bit surprisingly that their offense is still that okay, or still in the upper half of the league, because they lost key players. They had a similar upheaval as we had during the summer, with at least four key players lost. So Thuram left, is now at Inter Milan. Hofmann left, now at Leverkusen. Stindl back to Karlsruhe, back to his hometown area. And Bensebaini went to Borussia Dortmund. So that means those four players scored 39 goals together last season out of 52, equals to 75%. So 3 out of 4 goals were scored by those four. And you can see this is very, very hard to replace them. And
I can imagine.
yeah, and this season, there is no, so to speak, an outstanding scorer for Gladbach, but they got 15 individual goal scorers and 8 players with 3 or more goals, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
And so this is this time on Alassane Player and Tomasz Schwanchara and Rocco Reitz to carry the team. And offensively, it isn't that bad, but it seems like they're lacking in some balance. And bear in mind that they had to come up with a new coach yet again after Marco Rose left in 2021. They had Adi Hütter, who was one and done, then came Farke, one and done, and now it's Seoane, by the way, the predecessor of Xabi Alonso at Bayern 04
Yeah.
Leverkusen.
I know.
And so it's clearly, to me at least, that this needs time. You have to replace 4 key players. You come up with a new head coach, and you cannot expect that things develop quite well in the first season and that you compete for the international ranks in the Bundesliga. So, okay. And now with rank 13 and relegation far from being an opportunity, a possibility, I'm pretty sure about that the front office will give Seoane at least one more year, and maybe some players add to their squad, to their roster that Seoane wants for his idea of playing football. But this is not really things that we will see this season, and that's why I'm confident that we will see a nice game of our squad, and I expect a win, no doubt.
Okay. But sometimes I wish we kind of remember that at our side, because we had a similar loss of key players, even worse than Gladbach here. And bearing in mind this big transition, we are still in a very good place. I know we need to, well, we all want to get into the Champions League next year, but it's not going to be a major upheaval if we don't make it. And maybe it is Europa League, although we have to watch RTL Plus, which is diabolical. Anyway, so in terms of how our team performs with the big transition that we are in at the moment, and bear in mind in the winter we added to that, we're doing okay. But Gladbach, I'm really pleased with the fact, or that you're predicting that the coach is going to stay longer, because I got a lot of respect for him, and maybe they're going to turn. It's going to be a similar development, or similar development to Bayer Leverkusen. Remember, Bayer Leverkusen last season started really, really badly, but they stuck to Alonso, and towards the end of the season, you could see the team really performing very strongly, and we all know where they are this year. So, how do you think this game is going to unfold? What is going to be important?
Well, we have to rely on our strengths. So this is kaching, always a good advice. I know, and you know, I wasn't able to find a clear answer to this question. Hey, what is this key to win? Of course, facing the opponent with tempo, facing with cohesion, be disciplined, and so on. All those basics is always good advices, and this will be clearly the key here too. I am just convinced that one time there will be this very first game, this one game, where we will at least earn.
You reap the rewards, actually.
We will reward ourselves. So for all those
In
efforts.
German, der Knoten wird platzen.
Yes, I highly expect that. And listen, bold prediction live here on podcast.
Oh no,
Sesko is on fire, and he will score his very first hat trick for RBL.
And I'm not going to be there. That's not on.
I will send you some clips of any goal.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. That would be awesome. But still, Gladbach side surely has some players, or at least one player to watch that we look.
One player is to watch here is, to me, my favorite player of this squad, number 27, Rocco Reitzer. Already mentioned him. It's a 21-year-old German native, and he's a very, very skilled dribbler, good vision with and without the ball, nice ball handling, especially with the first contact, and he can shoot too. And if you would ask me how long will we see him in Gladbach and what will be his next logical step, I have one answer, and it's
FC Liefering?
No. All those talented players go from Gladbach to
Dortmund.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. And the very first was what was his name?
Was it
in
Marco?
the late 90s? No. It was not. No. Do you? Jeopardy music. I will look it up. I have to look it up.
Wir machen den Faktencheck later.
It was that guy that had cancer later on.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm thinking of a different player.
Well,
anyway, this is taking too long, mate. We have to move on. Yeah.
Okay.
And there are people out there screaming already. They know.
Excuse me. Rocco Reitz, number 27. Hey, really, really talented player. Love to see him play. Hopefully, he will not have his best night Saturday night.
Okay. So, in terms of keys to win, do you think Sesko scoring 3 goals is going to be enough?
This will be enough, but I'm also convinced that we won't have a clean sheet here because, besides that 0-0 draw versus Darmstadt last week, Gladbach is just too strong offensively. We talked about that. So my score prediction here is a 4-2 win.
Okay, I'm going for 5-0 because I feel really optimistic now. And we have a super defense, which you told me about. That's the one you saw yesterday. But apart from Sesko, who is going to be on the pitch? Who's going to Marco Rose send as our starting 11?
Liebe Fußballfans, wir kommen jetzt zu unserer heutigen Mannschaftsaufstellung.
Marco showed us a formation last night where he placed Henrichs in defensive midfield in exchange for Kampel, and then came up with Shima Khan on the right defensive side. Mm-hmm. I like that, but I would like to see something else. Gulaschi between the posts, Henrichs, Orban, Klostermann, Raum as our flat 4 center backs, defensive backs. And then Schlager, and please send out Elmas. He came on the pitch yesterday, and he was a factor. Yeah,
good.
he wasn't able to turn things around on his own, but it seemed like he have finally found his place into the squad and knows how to play what Coach Rose wants from him. And I want to see him for 90 minutes. Come on, Marco, do it. So, and then Xavi and Olmo, of course, in offensive midfield, and Openda and Sesko, there is no doubt. So those four have to play every game.
5-0. That's what I said. Sounds like a solid 5-0.
So who scores the goals besides Sesko?
Goalpenda and Sesko. Easy peasy.
Okay, so four times.
Oh, Sesko did 3 already. I'm sorry. Pausen will come on, and Pausen will do his.
Oh,
fifth.
I like that idea.
Yeah, Pausen will come on. It'll be good. Brilliant. That sounds very good to me. Well, you got to keep it covered, and you're going to be there. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it and keep us posted in our next episode. And well, to everybody who's listening to us, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'd be delighted if you subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Also, if you like to leave us comments, you can leave a review on the platform, or you can contact us by email at talktous@rbleglobaltracks.com. Or find us on Twitter. The username is podcast_RBL. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Thank you, Richard, for your time. And thank you for enlightening us so well today.
This time, last words are on me.
Oh, no.
Heiko Herrlich. Heiko Herrlich was the player I searched.
Okay.
He was the first that went from Gladbach to Dortmund.
I'm glad we got this in time. Excellent. So, last words from me are: Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs!